Good.
Can you talk to us about the Hansen injury? When did it happen and when did you rule him out?
Yeah, I guess he's had a little bit of just a quad strain. It's not a huge, significant injury, but it's one that we felt like it was important this week to get as much time and reps for the guys that were starting. And with Jamie being on the wing, then it meant probably he could have come in and out of that position with Mac, but it felt right to give him the minutes on the right wing, and he gives us that coverage across the back line really in terms of that flexibility to go to a 6-2 split. So it was probably a little bit of an earlier call, that we felt like it was the right thing to do to allow us to build that continuity in the guys who were starting to get reps. And Mac was comfortable with that. He realised that it might be one that was touch and go, and we felt like it was the right thing to do to make that early decision.
That's the last home Irish game for the three lads. Will you be using that emotion to motivate as motivation this weekend?
I don't think it's necessarily something that this group will need. I mean, I think they understand the impact that the three lads have had on Irish rugby in the Irish jersey across a number of years. They've all become very close. They're not just Irish teammates, but they're good friends on and off the pitch. The lads who obviously will continue playing for Ireland, but the three lads who are leaving the group they'll leave a massive void. But that's kind of part and parcel of international rugby. People play their part for a long period, in case these three have done. And the mark of respect and the motivation, I think, is that they and the rest of the team want to finish this tournament on a high, and that in respect to them and the motivation, that's all they've ever thought about is the team and what's going to make us the best that we can be on Saturday, and not really about them.
Thank you. Cameron?
Simon, 6-2 on the bench, I suppose we saw the risks of that in the game in Murrayfield when Finn Russell and Darcy Graham had to go off. But was the fact that it was flagged early on, France were going to go with a 7-1 a factor in that decision?
No, not really. I think there's a number of reasons why we've done it. One is that we have a bit of flexibility in Jamie's position, him covering majority of positions in the back line. We felt with Caelan, who's done incredibly well to get back to full fitness and done a brilliant job himself, but also with the medical staff, has been able to get himself right from an injury, which other players might not have been able to do that in the short space of time. But we also felt that we needed to make sure that we had good coverage in the back row. The guys that did start in Wales, and Jack Conan was very good. He's come off the bench well, but also Ryan Baird came off the bench in Cardiff, and James Ryan did as well. So we just felt like the dynamics of that pack and the way that France might play the game meant that we felt that was a really nice, chunky sort of back five of our scrum being able to come on and make an impact, along with having the flexibility of someone like Jamie that could start on the wing but could also play other positions.
Was that versatility the reason Jamie might have got the nod ahead of Calvin Nash, say?
Yeah, certainly. I think that you're always looking for, sometimes there's really tight calls and it's just a gut, but I think on this one there's a couple of reasons for that. But yeah, certainly one of those would be that Jamie offers us more flexibility in the positions that he can play.
Thanks. Steve?
Hi, Simon. There have been some very memorable games against France, and obviously you'll take a win whatever way it comes. But how much are you hoping this sporting occasion can live up to the hype?
Yeah, I guess it's you always want to feel like you're going to go out and perform and inspire the people watching, inspire the nation that this team has done for a number of years, and that's part of the reason. There's a number of factors to this game for us, and wanting it to be really special. It's the last home game of the season for us. It's a number of players' final home appearance in an Irish jersey, but there's also something else on the line as well, which is bigger than all of that. So I think there's a number of things and factors to wanting to make sure that this is a really top performance from us. And I think the way that the lads have gone about their business this week, not just the guys that are starting, the bench players, but also the guys that have come in and assisted the team in preparation, have been fabulous. And I think that's been the mark of this group of wider players as much as the guys that get the chance and responsibility to take the field. Is the other players that have come in and created a special week for everybody involved. And hopefully that will be shown in the performance on Saturday.
Anton Dupont against Jameson Gibson Park. How much are you looking forward to watching that battle unfold on Saturday?
Yeah, that's interesting. Two fabulous players playing at the peak of their game, and I think there's a number of sort of individual battles, if you like, across the teams. But that one's going to be pretty special.
Thanks, Bernard. Simon, is France as tough as it gets in the Six Nations?
I think every game, and I know it's probably just sort of stating the obvious, but every game's different, and every game is your next toughest game, and it'll be no different this weekend. We've kind of found our way through some sticky patches during the Six Nations. Haven't always been as effective as we would have liked, either side of the ball, defence and attack. But I guess this represents a serious challenge to us, and one that the challenge is one thing, but the opportunity that it presents this team as well is something really special. And we know that given the opportunity, the French have the ability to do real damage, but so do we, and we feel really confident that if we get our game in place and that we win moments and create momentum, that this team can do something special as well.
Just on the three lads, is there any point this week where they're given the floor to speak to the group? Obviously it's a hugely emotional week, and I know Mac mentioned this week, that's not just this week, the whole championship is about those.
Yeah. I guess the recent announcement has obviously kind of highlighted, even if players would have known about the decision prior, everyone else knows about it now. So it's just been, and they're not the three type of players that would ever want it to be about them. But obviously we want to make sure we mark the occasion with the respect and the kind of performance that it deserves for them, and they'll want to do the same. And it's incredible what they've achieved. They're three brilliant rugby players, but three brilliant people, and they've been a massive part of how this team has evolved across the last 4 or 5 seasons, certainly since the 2019 World Cup. And the best way that the rest of the team and the coaching staff and the management can do is just mark it by creating the best performance that we can.
Last couple of questions in the live section. Neil Denver.
Simon, just one from me. How close was Tyke Furlong to being available this week?
Yeah, listen, he trained with Leinster last week, did a bit with them, did a bit more with us, and it's been just a continual kind of progression in terms of getting as many kind of training minutes under his belt. He's hit scrums this week, so he wasn't massively far away from it, but I guess it's just making sure that that there was a confidence that he could get through. I mean, training is one thing, getting through 40, 50, 60 minutes of an international game is different. So it was kind of, we were building up towards this, and we still feel like he's in a really good place, and he feels confident that he's hit the sort of steps that he's needed to, but it was just probably a few days too early.
So he could be in contention for next week.
Certainly, yeah.
Just on Jamie, as you mentioned, he is very flexible with his position. Can't remember on the right as often. He's a left footer, obviously.
Yeah.
How confident are you to adapt his skill set into another new style?
He's done pretty well so far across the short kind of international career he's had. And yeah, listen, he's a fabulous footballer first and foremost. He's got a physical presence, and he's also got a really smart rugby kind of brain, and understands the game and the feel of the game. So we have a bit of flexibility there in terms of his positioning, the flexibility to to move him around a little bit as well in certain parts of the field, so we can kind of utilise his left, but he's also got a right foot as well. So yeah, I think there's a bit of flexibility within the system that would allow us to utilise him and Hugo as well in different positions.
And just on the bench, Ron Herring, when he gets an odd ahead of Gus McCarthy's features, what was he thinking there?
I think there's obviously there's a very much a strong focus on our set piece and how we need to keep building that. I think Rob gives that little bit more experience and now in a position which can be pretty tricky. I think what he'll allow us to do as well, he'll get the opportunity to come off the bench with a younger player in Tom Clarkson, gives him and Tom a nice little bit of a connection. Obviously Cian as well with his experience on the other side of that. So it's kind of it was a bit of a horses for courses in terms of trying to create the best dynamic, certainly when those guys come off the bench at whatever point that is in the game, to give the scrum and the line out that little bit of experience.